Hey, what's going on? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in this video, I want to talk about the lawsuit of all lawsuits, which is kind of like a domino and a snowball rolling downhill against a lot of debt collection companies. And it has to do with them being, in a way, kind of greedy about the way that they were sending out the 30-day Dunning letter. To give you background of what the Dunning letter is, that is that letter that you receive from a debt collector that's saying, hey, it'll usually have in the top corner, this is from the original creditor, we own this debt, or, we're trying to collect, and this was your old account number. This is our account number or our reference number. And then buried down below, it'll have a little, if you dispute any or part of this debt, you have 30 days to do so. And it's required by law that they do that. And something before I get into this lawsuit, something that a lot of people don't know, and debt collectors get away with it all the time, is that they're not allowed to call you before they send this letter. The reason why they call people before they send this letter is because, number one, from what happened with this lawsuit, they try to avoid it. And then number two, they try to save money by saying, hey, is this person? And then they'll try to verify some address information. And then they might even try to collect on, say, hey, we're calling about this debt. They might try to do that. It's all recorded, so they can't really go back on it from what they're doing to break the rules, just that people don't know that they're breaking the rules. They might try to say, well, we sent you a letter and you didn't get it. They have to have proof. So what happened is they kind of backed themselves into a corner. Number one, trying to save money. Number two, having proof that third-party proof that they sent these Dunning letters out. So the case that it was the 11th Circuit of Appeal, Court of Appeals issued an opinion in Hunstein versus Preferred Collection and Management Services, Inc. Basically, what this whole thing came down to is, according to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, they have to send you that Dunning letter. The Dunning letter is the 30-day letter to allow you to dispute any, all, or part of a debt that they've purchased. But the debt collection companies got smart, or thinking that they were getting smart. They were like, hey, why don't we just send it to this third party that's probably some guy or girl that worked for a debt collector in the past. They were like, I'm going to make this service and I'll make money from all of these debt collection companies by sending out the letters for them. So they don't have to have someone on staff to do it. They can just send us the batch. We'll package them up, mail them out. Well, let me tell you what the problem is with that. If you didn't catch up with it, the problem is that they've just disclosed your information to a third party. They cannot disclose your information to a third party. So they were thinking that, well, because that company, we're working with them, we can do that. No, remember what I've always told you on my channel about your privacy, your information, your private data. Number one, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act totally makes that illegal for them to do what they just did with providing that to an unauthorized third party. Most people's mindset, what they're thinking about as an unauthorized third party, is maybe their employer, but they might say, well, they can contact my employer. But my friends and family and my neighbors, you better not talk about my business with them. So people really get upset and emotional when someone in that other category is shared the information about, hey, you ever had that call where I'm trying to get in touch with so-and-so, do you happen to know, where they're at or their number? I lost their number. They'll pretend all this type of stuff. And so they were thinking with this, hey, we could save money, have this company send out the letters, and boom, the ones that come back will be able to, start working on and trying to collect. Also, because there was so much debt, and it still is so much debt that's available on the market, they were sending out like 10, 15, 20,000 letters, over a month's period of time for just one debt portfolio that a debt collection company would purchase. So this was really a very good business for this third party company, that basically a mailing service. But the lawsuit specifically states, or the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals specifically had in their opinion, that you cannot do what they were doing. And so the snowball started rolling, and the dominoes started to fall, and this was very quiet. Like, this actually happened more than a year ago, but the dominoes started falling, and a lot of debt collection companies either quietly just released or wiped out the debt that they had sent with those companies. They were like, if someone calls and it was from one of those, just say it was either sold, or we don't have it anymore, or it's forgiven. Like, they might try to come up with some thing saying that it was forgiven. So that's what happened. So I'll read a little bit about it. It was saying what they did is that specifically the way that they violated is that they by electronically transmitting information concerning a consumer's debt is to its mail vendor for the sole purposes of sending a dunning letter. The parties acknowledge that the practice is usually using mail vendors has been a common practice in the industry. And the plaintiffs, they allege, they say, hey, we didn't intend to do anything wrong. But the problem is that it specifically states that you cannot share anyone's information with an unauthorized third party. So they were doing this, and so it probably destroyed that mail vendor's business, or the contract that they had with debt collectors. I'm pretty sure they were able to continue with other work that they were doing. So if you receive a letter from a debt collector, you need to look at the envelope. You know how an envelope, I wish I had one here that, here it goes. This is just a postcard that I received from someone trying to get my business. You can see here where it'll have like postage paid. You can look for different like stuff like that. You can look for, you see this barcoding information across the top. You can look for information like that, because that also shows that it was sent by a third party. You can look for, like on this one, it says DB, TB, and it has some digits, and then mix AADC 35, whatever that means. Also, if they accidentally, I don't know why they would do this, but if they accidentally put your name and then they put or residence, the reason why they'll do that is they want to make sure that it gets delivered, because what they've probably done is they've done the skip tracing with the bureaus, and they know that you live at that address, but they know that you may not, answer or open that mail if it is only sent to you, and if you recognize it as a debt collection company. Basically anything that is printed that looks like it has any coding, any pre-sorted stuff like that, companies don't usually package up stuff like that. They usually send that out to a third party. So be wary about that, because you could potentially get out of owing a debt collector who has crossed the line against the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act with the statute that states that they cannot share your private information with a third party. All right. Hey, this is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com. And we also have a special link for the FICO scores, so you can see what credit card companies see, mortgage companies, and auto finance companies. You can see exactly what they see and how they rate you for